I'm Campbell. This is my mixed media channel, and I love teaching really easy, fast, and fun ways to layer your mixed media products so you can make awesome projects without making a mess. So I've taught at length here on YouTube my mixed media hamburger system, and that's like layering up all 7 layers like a hamburger. You got your pickles, you got your tomatoes and lettuce, but it's all nice and beautifully layered up so you have success. Well, I thought that we should turn our attentions to something, some layers that aren't quite so complicated. Like we don't need to always have 7. That can be a lot of layers, and that is a lot of art supplies as well. So what I did, this is super fun, is I reached out to all my mixed media friends, a couple of students, and I said, hey, what are your favorite 4-layer mixed media methods? And we're gonna call this sucker the hot dog, because you just have your little plate, which is your substrate. Then you have a bun, which holds it all together. So that could be, and it's like your main ingredient of your mixed media project. Then you have the hot dog, which is like your secondary main ingredient. And then you might have like a topping or 2, and like you're done. And there's so many different combinations of these hot dog projects. I put them all together in a gigantic 32-page PDF for you if you want it. It's so cool. And today's project is included in this PDF for you as well, so you can literally just follow along. My students over at Awesome Art School requested a skull because this is Halloween time, and I thought this is the perfect time to introduce YouTube to my hot dog mixed media layering system, at the same time giving them a fun bonus project to work on. Now, the real-time instructions is only available in my Mixed Media Society. If you want to join the wait list, we are closed right now, but you can do that by going over to awesomeartschool.com. If you want this 32-page PDF packet, just comment below and let me know, and I'll drop you a link so you can grab that. It's super useful. I'll show you really quickly before we dive into the project, but it's really cool, and I can't wait to do a whole bunch of them and to show you like how we're gonna bring these to life. So in today's video, you'll get the real-time drawing portion, because I promised all of my students at Awesome Art School, whether or not they were in the Mixed Media Society or not, that I give them drawing instructions. So I'm gonna give that to YouTube as well. And then the real time in terms of the full painting and the layering with the colored pencils will be tucked away inside the Mixed Media Society. So hopefully that gives a little something to everybody. Everybody can play and have fun, and at least you can see the process here for you. Yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know. And the reference, the skull reference that we're going to be using, along with the PDF packet and then like more information, is all going to be on my blog. But all of this info, all of this junk I'm talking about, is all in the description box below. So just check it out when you want to. And in the meantime, enjoy. Let's get going. And as you can see, this is part of the packet. We have plate, bun, hot dog toppings, just like I said. And here, I give you some extra sheets in this packet, so you can actually fill these in if you discover your own mixed media layers that you love. Here's today's project. And here is a whole heap of other fun hot dog projects with samples, so you can kind of see like what the different possibilities are. And I made these very varied, so there's different ingredients in each one, and it's just really fun and inspirational. And again, I'll be sharing more on YouTube as time goes by, so make sure to subscribe, and let's get on to the skull project. Friends, let's get this skeleton party started. So I'm working in my watercolor journal. This is Strathmore, super nice cold press, heavy duty paper. It's a hardcover journal. This is the most random assortment of drawings and paintings in here, and I thought, perfect, this will be even more random. So let's get to it, just using a regular school pencil. And then I think I'm gonna render it or color it in with some fountain pen inks, just for, you know, shits and giggles. All right, so to get started, make sure your reference is right here. I will have a link to this so you can draw along. Let's get going. So obviously this is like it's pretty circular up here. Just so I get like the rhythm of that circle, I'm actually going to draw a whole circle, just because that's the only way I'm going to be able to capture that top part. Get some light over, is by really getting a circle action going. Okay, so there's the top. Drawing a skull is just like drawing anything, so you just take it shape by shape. So I'm going to come down if this is the circle, I'm gonna come down around here is where I'm seeing the eyes, the eye holes start. And I'm just gonna sketch them in. I noticed this one is larger than the dome of the circle. So if my dome is here, then the actual eye is gonna go outside of that. And these to me look like, it's kind of like roundy squares, really. So I'm gonna look like sunglasses. That's what I'm seeing. And then there's a little space for the nose. There's like the nose bridge is kind of in here. I don't even, now this relationship is way wonky. So I'm gonna scoot this one over. So it's more like this. This is just the whole. I don't even have an eraser on my shoddy pencil here. I gotta zoom way in. So I'm just, so you know, I'm just looking back and forth at the reference. It's kind of a wide, rounded corner there. And these come up here. Yeah, they're kind of wonky. And then I feel like there's this nose ridge. Poor nose, just a gaping hole. So let's draw the gaping hole. God, it's weird in there, isn't it? Especially when I'm used to drawing real faces all the time. Creepy. This looks like, I don't even want to say what that looks like. Looks like an obscene body part. Specifically part of the male anatomy. Just saying. It's what I'm drawing, what I see. Okay, I need to move away from that because that's way too funny. Okay, now we're gonna do this side. And these, again, they're kind of just like rounded. Just to me, it's like a rounded rectangle, really. Zoop. Okay, so there's our eye holes. I don't know the right name for anything. Eye hole, obscene male body part, and another eye hole. All right, and then here's our roundy skull. So I'm noticing over here, it's kind of like comes in a little bit and then it wigs out like this. And then it's like, hello, cheekbones. I think must be the cheekbone. That's weird. Now let's do this side. Again, it's like this weird dent. Ooh, that must be the temple. And then we're gonna come around. And then again, it's kind of, whoa, that like wigs way out. This person was good looking, I bet. These are like totally not symmetrical. Look at this one has like a chunk missing. And then it comes in, and this one is like, comes out a little bit faster and then jets in. Weird. So weird looking. Not as symmetrical at all. And actually, that's one thing I really noticed when I was looking for references. I was like, these don't match. And I love how their little eyes are like crooked. This looks like Darth Vader. I'm drawing accidentally Darth Vader. This one comes in more. And then we have the little scully part. This is so Darth Vader. Okay, so let's see. We have our weird nose holes. I think mine are a little bit too big. And then we have a space. So the teeth are going to be in this vicinity. So I'm just making sure this needs to come over more, that this relationship is like this width is the same. Zoop and zoop. Okay, Darth Vader. All right, now we have like a bunch of teeth, which I'm not going to draw yet. I'm just going to kind of like make sure that my relationships are okay. So there's our teeth. This reminds me of doing the Whimsical Women of the World series on my drawing channel. where it was, we did a big smiling Italian woman and holy teeth. It was torture. Okay, so this is the lower mandible. Did study biological anthropology in college, so I know all my body parts. All right, and then we're gonna come this way for the lower jaw. So it's gonna be this big sweeping kind of oval and back, up. So I'm just doing like a little rough draft, and then I'm gonna kind of zoom out and take a look at it and be like, how are we doing? This looks like it comes out even more. Just the chin. So if the top teeth come about here, and they roundy the corner back this way, and then there's like spaces. And then there's the bottom teeth, just making sure everything's kind of like have space for everyone. Zoop, yep, I can envision the teeth going in here. How are we doing for overalls? Not literal overalls, but overall relationships. Okay. And then, so if that was the top, and then they come about here. Yeah, that's probably, the chin might be a little low. It's probably like the average of these two lines I drew. And we can always also adjust them later. But it's kind of like that. Something along those lines. And before I finish up the jaw though, we gotta kind of adjust this up here. We have that roundy skull, but then this also kind of, it does come down on either side. Ooh. And over here, it kind of comes down also in the back. We didn't really finish drawing that. But then that's really going to be in shadow, which we will depict in our inks or any other way that we are going to be coloring this guy in, because heck yeah, we are going to be doing the whole project. All right. Boom, boom. Now we got to get moving on the teeth, which is a super annoying, laborious task. First of all, let's notice that where the teeth go in are all sorts of wonky. So I'm just gonna count. Let's see, we have our middle teeth. I wanna draw the like wonky tooth gummy parts first, because we have these like whatever, recessed places, and then these teeth are huge. They kind of come out like this. And there's all these awkward, horrible spaces everywhere. Who the heck knows how, oh, look at this giant incisor. It's like, comes down farther than the other teeth, like crazy. So it's like we have these like bumpies, and then in it are these whack-a-mole teeth in here. And teeth, I think the biggest thing that people fall into traps is that they make them all like straight, and teeth are the most wonktastic things ever. Just like drawing, I'm not even paying attention to how many I'm drawing, just lots. Oh, you know what? I was off. This is so the tooth trunk teeth are here, and then there should be, my teeth are off. And then this one is the incisor. And then this one is the gaping giant canine, which I did know, I was wondering, but the incisors on this poor dead person are the same size as the two front teeth almost. This has to kind of keep going. Okay, now we got to do this incisor on here. And then the canine is always bigger. And this one is like flat on the bottom. It's like everything else. You just have to kind of draw what you see, even if it's super weird. And teeth are definitely super weird. But there you go. Then we do the same for the bottoms. But this time I'm going to actually go down, find that space. God, their teeth. Oh, you know why? Because the skull is tilted slightly. That's why it looks weird. So this one is like a little triangle, and then this one is, the cool thing about teeth is that you don't really need to do a good job, because as wonky and everything as your teeth are, like, that's literally what they are. They're just wonky shapes, my friend. And then this is like a thickness. This is just like darkness in here. And these, I would even argue, are even longer. So the more wonky you draw them, like, it works. It's all good. Speaking of teeth, my son is getting his wisdom teeth out this Friday. Speaking of teeth, I know. I hate all things teeth. I make my husband go when they have to get them done. I'm like, that's all you, my friend. All right, there's the lower path and the upper path. And then there's like this kind of like line that's like the bone line, I guess, which is kind of highlighted. And then this is going to be all dark. Yep, this area. It's very strange. It's more like that. And of course, the teeth shouldn't be all dark as I have drawn them. But once we get all the shading and everything, and this comes up a little bit too. So while you're still in pencil, make the necessary adjustments. And we got this, we got this. We don't need all this multi-line shenanigans up here. All right, look at our, he looks so nice. He looks cute. He's like, oh, like, give him some eyebrows. But yeah, I mean, he's wonky, but that's how it looks. It looks wonky there too. And his teeth are really gross. And they shouldn't have this really big, sharp, like, outline of graphite. But also, really, it's fine. Once we get all the ink out and rendered, it'll be cool. But if you want to knock it back a little bit, you can. Kind of clean up the sketch. You can. Zoop. All right. All right, I'm going to get out my inks and get this guy colored in, because it's really when you're adding all the darks and lights that he kind of comes to life. So I'm gonna get my inks out and I'll show you just how I would do it. All right, first I just want to make sure that I have the right colors. So this is fountain pen inks. So this is sepia. You're not really supposed to paint with fountain pen inks, but I do anyways. Actually, that's perfect. That's perfect. So I'm just going to start right in with that. If you're new to painting with fountain pen inks, or you didn't realize you could, you can. They work just like watercolors. I'm just going to have a paper towel ready, because there's a big reflection on this guy's forehead. I'm kind of getting ready to, like, lift that. I put my brush directly into the ink bottle. This is like the exact perfect kind of shade I want to start with. gosh, what a fun project. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. That was quite the adventure we had today. Yes, it was a super fun. Thanks for hanging out with me, and yeah, see you next time. Bye.